2, 1. Welcome back to the Tea Time podcast. Ooh, cheers, girl.
Holiday mugs on fleek.
Okay, so I'm Natalie.
I'm Paige.
Oh. Is this thing on? Yes, it is. Okay, sorry. I'm playing. You know how I play.
You better stop.
Okay. So today's topic is serial killers. Ooh. It's gonna get spicy.
It's gonna get a little crazy. This is something we haven't done. Like, we really haven't done. I'm so excited.
Viewer discretion.
Yes, like trigger warnings. Honestly, like trigger warnings advised. Like, be careful.
Be careful.
A little more eerie than we usually do, but we're excited.
We're stepping out of the comfort zone today.
Yes,
so, baby girl Paige is gonna start with her little story.
She's a little story, but pretty big story. Let's see how this goes. My serial killer is Pedro Alonso Lopez, otherwise known as Monster of the Andes. So yes, he's not your average like American Ted Bundy. You know what I mean?
Not basic.
He Colombian.
He was one of the quiet ones that you don't know of, but
yes,
silent but deadly.
Thank you, Natalie. Silent but deadly really describes this monster. He raped, killed over 300 minors in Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. All girls. They were aged anywhere 8 to 12. Very sad.
It's just great how killing wasn't enough. He really had to go the extra mile.
Exactly.
He's like, let's just do more.
Yeah. It was horrible, but he had a pretty tragic backstory.
Really? I mean, you kind of have to. If you did something that crazy, I feel like you have to
someone's got to cause it.
It's
you know
like
what
the
I mean?
villain origin story.
Exactly. He had a big one. And let me tell you that. He had a pretty big villain origin story. He was the 7th of 13 siblings. Big family.
Brother got set up for failure with that one.
Exactly.
Middle child? Brother was.
Hey, I'm a middle child.
Oh. Me.
Oh, and you. Oh.
Well, I think he was forgotten. Like, they're like, he shows up to the door. Hey, we don't want no homeless people showing up. It's like, I'm literally your family.
I know, and I like how you say homeless, though, because he, in his one-bedroom house, got kicked out because he tried to rape his younger sister. And I believe the reason that he did this was because in this one-bedroom house, his mother was a sex worker, and only a curtain dividing where the children slept and where she.
I was about to say, when they're standing, the 13 children plus her and whoever she's working with at the moment, they standing like on the literally perimeter of the freaking
like a curtain.
Room,
like I'm sorry, curtain. Like peek. I literally know it. Like literally.
Peekaboo, like no, thank you, ma'am.
That's what I'm saying. And so he got kicked out. He became homeless. And when he was on the streets, just at 9 years old, he got raped by many men. And so that's kind of what also
he just
started that.
He just really got beat down as a kid.
Horrible time as a kid. He did get adopted by an American family, though.
Okay, slay.
I believed he moved to America, went to school. He was having a good life, but then at school, raped by his teacher.
Oh, that's...
And it's
do they all just have a group chat saying like, hey, like let's just like really make this kid?
I think so. They're like, hey, what do you think about this kid? Let's like horrible
let's just
people
target him.
Horrible people all around that I'm talking about. Every single one of them.
It's just like every time he's like trying to better himself and like stand back up on his own 2 feet.
Bam. Like, yeah,
one after
exactly.
Another, but
yeah, when he was 21, he kind of came back, went to jail for robbery. Get this, Natalie. He became the prisoner's sex toy. He couldn't catch a break. Like he's not a child anymore, but man, like fresh age of 21, it's like, yeah. And he was like, I'm fed up, slashed all their throats.
Oh, okay, but like,
he got his revenge by killing, and he said he found pleasure in it. He enjoyed killing. So that's where it kind of became a little even more iffy.
See, that's the thing. It's like, okay, stand up for yourself, stand up against the bullies. But like, when he's like, he's like, I kind of enjoyed that. Like, should we make it go further?
Don't think you should enjoy the killing. And
I don't think that's the point.
It really isn't, but that's not even like the story. That's his backstory.
We
like,
still in the origin.
Many people don't even know about those killings.
This is just a prequel.
It is. It's the prequel of this horrible monster. And after he got out of jail because killed, like somehow he got out, moved to Peru, preyed on Andean girls, young innocent Andean girls, because he believed they had innocent eyes, and he probably raped, killed, and then raped their dead bodies. Probably over 100. He buried them like together, called them his dolls, and he said he loved to just strangle them and watch like the life and innocence like go out of their eyes. And so that's almost 100 in Peru.
Yeah. Oh, so and I like how he's just like, I'm gonna camp out here. Like I'm not, because usually you think serial killers more than likely move around. They're like,
yes, they're like,
I don't want to stay in the same spot.
Yeah, like don't get caught.
Brother sat down, camped out, went around town about 3 different times.
Mm-hmm. And it's like he knew he wasn't gonna get caught. It was sad, like those poor families. And then he moved to Colombia and Ecuador, murdered over hundreds of more. And it's like, you're wiping out the whole like little girls, like
no, single-handedly.
Literally, like where are they? You know, it's not like anyone was like, okay, like, oh, like, hey Tim, my daughter's like gone missing, and it's like, oh, me too. It's like
twins.
Okay, well maybe we should do something about it. Like literally go find them or something.
Like especially 100 in Peru. I bet you those 100, like those, each one of those girls had a family, and I bet you those 100 of family people could have easily got this guy. And
I know, and it's like those poor families, and it's like it's too much almost. But this is the crazy part. It's like when he finally got caught, silly, he walked into a crowded supermarket, just sees a little girl, just grabs her and runs. And it's like, okay, that girl was with her mother. Thankfully, the mother screams out, he gets stopped, and boom, he's gone. But it's like, okay, you've been doing this for a long time, buddy. And now you decide, like, I think he got a little too cocky. He got a little too cocky, and he was like, all right, I'm going to try. And it's like,
well, like, baby boy was like, I'm just feeling a little sick. He's like, he's doing a social experiment.
He really was.
He was like, let's see if anyone will stop me.
Literally, like, let's see after, like, 300 and plus, like, let's see if anyone can.
And it's like, can you even be proud of the work that you've done? Like, all that work that you've done down the drain because you're an idiot. Mm-hmm. You're so stupid.
Thankfully, though. Thankfully.
Yeah, we're like,
an idiot.
We sound like we're like ruined for him. It's like me personally, I wouldn't have done that, but
exactly. But here's where the story gets even a little crazier. He goes to jail. The maximum in Peru, I believe. Yes, the maximum. Oh, Ecuador. Excuse me.
Oh,
the maximum.
Miss Girl doesn't know her facts.
The maximum sentence in Ecuador, 16 years for all those murders. It amazes me too. I know, but he spent 14 there, and then was diagnosed as insane, which, as he should be. Like he was definitely suffering many mental
definitely
problems.
had some issues.
Yes, so they're like, all right, psychiatric hospital for you, and he goes. He's there for 4 years, trying to overcome it. Not really happening, but somehow he gets off with a $50 bail, and he has to come to monthly checkups. And they're like, you know what? I think this man will come back. You know, oh, like monthly checkups. He's been doing so good. Nope. Disappears. He's been gone since 1998.
So brother could still be trying.
Exactly. Like he could still be alive. He could still be like, this was 1998. Like he could have done so much more. And the thing is, the psychiatric hospital, like he confessed, like, oh, like once I'm free, I know I will kill again because it is like my duty. Like I have to kill. Like it's like what I have to do. And it's like, okay. And then the hospital was like, but he'll come for monthly checkups. Like, it's okay. Like, you know, like, we can still fix him. I don't think so. I think that kid should be locked up, but now he's running free. Could be dead, but you know what? I saw this thing. His mother, she, like, believes that, like, her dead ancestors kind of communicate to her in a way. She hasn't heard anything from her son. And so it's like she believes he's not dead.
But,
And
like, are we going to trust the mother who
But
had
yeah.
13 kids and was a
That's what
sex
I'm saying. I
worker?
say, do you even know which kid that is? Honestly, like
what was his
kick them
name?
out like that. It's like exactly. It's like
Baby girl, what was his name?
I know you guys are like
No,
mother
but,
son
like,
connection, but it's like I don't know, and it's just sad. Like it's sad how he's roaming free like that after almost 300. Oh, it's crazy.
and, like,
It's
the
crazy.
fact that the mental hospital's like, you know what? I think he's changed.
You know, and it yes, like in Ecuador, like I hope they've stepped up. You know, like I
Oh, my
hope they've
Lord,
done a little
yeah.
better than 1998. But
Honestly,
it's like,
this dude deserves a Grammy for the performance he'd had to put on to get out
I know.
without even like anyone like having to go with go with them. Like,
No,
I'm sorry,
literally,
Paige
yeah.
was staring at the outside. She goes, she was practicing her skills on what we think Pedro would have used on the
Oh
mental
yeah.
hospital work. It was he used the
he was
he used the stare.
he was
W
would you say
Riz.
suave?
The
I don't
charisma
know.
was unmatched. But
Mhm.
so what we've heard is that Pedro had a lot of trauma, was trying to heal the trauma, maybe. And then
Yeah.
trauma just kept building up and like
It's like, yes, he went after those innocent girls because his innocence was taken from him, but it's like, I don't know if that's the correct way to do it. Like, I'm sorry that
baby
your
boy,
innocence was taken from
that's
you.
not the
But yeah, I don't think that's justified like that, but I just hope he's dead by now. I hope he's or getting help.
he's
Something.
definitely somewhere.
Yeah,
And
he's definitely. But yeah, so
well, that was a great story, but now we're gonna go to a quick commercial break. So we've teamed up with
I'm so
Amish Ambush.
Amish Ambush. We are like thrilled. We are thrilled. This hasn't been our first, like pair up, but it's like this one's
It's one of the ones that we're most excited about.
Yes,
like,
yes.
When me and Paige got the email coming through, we were like, "Oh, stop!" Like,
I said, "Are you kidding?" I called my mom. I called my mom and I was like, "Mom, like you're never gonna believe this," and she was like, "Oh my god!" Like she was beyond excited for us, and like I think you guys are too. Honestly, like once you see this, it's gonna be crazy.
So, Amish Ambush is basically the Amish version of Uber, Lyft, like you're getting to and going services. But it's more economically friendly, which we all know that we need.
Which we love, yes.
Go green, my friends, release that, not digital footprint, but footprint.
Yes. Like,
no,
period. Like, yes. Yeah.
Like, we don't want to be driving on those cars.
Like,
if you know what I'm saying,
and like,
girls.
oh my gosh, like, we literally went on one like last week just to check it out.
God,
because you're like, we have to check this out before we like
recommend it to our viewers.
Literally, like, we don't want to give you guys like bad stuff, but it's like, oh my gosh, like probably one of like the coolest rides in my life, and like,
it was.
I feel so much like better after, like, oh my gosh, like our driver Ricardo was like the nicest person ever.
Oh, and we got to meet the horses. It was just such a personal experience.
Penny and Lucy. Penny and Lucy. I'm joking.
Lucy is her nickname. You'd have to hear the funny story of why she's named Lucifer. So go ahead, get the app, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be linked in the bio.
Amish Ambush. It's a fun name for a really fun time. So.
All right, now back to the story. So Paige, mine was also a very much like not your typical kind of serial killer.
And I kind of like that. It's like, of course, like I hate when serial killers are like, I want to like kill people for the fame, but it's like, it's kind of nice to like hear about like the other ones that not many people know of, but hear about those sad, like the victims, and it's like hoping that they get justice.
Oh no, for
like,
sure.
Yeah.
So mine was a doctor. Now listen, you know what's like crazy and like kind of makes me a little paranoid reading up on this story because I'm like, when you go into a doctor, you're like the most vulnerable because you're like, I have a problem. I don't know anything about it. You apparently do. Like you're gonna
like
fix
you
me.
studied for years and years. You should know what's up.
Yeah. But then you come out of the surgery or whatever, and you're just not feeling the best, and you realize they totally screwed you over. That's what this guy was all about. So this guy was Dr. Christopher Dunch, right?
Okay.
So he used to be like, before all this went down, he had all these glowing reviews. Great.
Yeah.
There was a particular story that caught my eye out of all his patients and victims. It was titled 3 Days in Dallas. So he used to work at this Dallas Medical Center. And in 3 days' time, he killed a patient and paralyzed one. Now he specializes in like back surgery, like spinal, because he's a nerve surgeon, so it's all about nerves.
That's dangerous, like that. Like that's really like you have to be careful. With stuff like that. And it looks like he wasn't.
Yeah. So another doctor in the Texas area was called in, Dr. Henderson. Like they're like, hey, we need you to come in, check this out. We don't know what happened, and that usually doesn't happen. Like that's when you know it's like something's really wrong, when they have to call in a big dog to like come up and see what's up.
Yeah.
So Dr. Henderson was going over his like surgical, like reading Dr. Dunch's surgical plans, being like, hey, like what went wrong? It was completely right, like textbook work. And like, oh, this should have been amazing. So he goes to open up the patient who got paralyzed. Completely wrong. Botched surgery. Baby girl had screws sticking up. She had one stuck on her tailbone. So he was supposed to put this rod and screws down. Dr. Henderson could pick up the rod.
You know what? That's like when some students are like, oh, let's cheat on this, and then they could get to the test and it's like, oh, I can't do this. And it's like, it's like assignment test. That's what I'm thinking of right now. It's like, so he literally aced like the preview, and then boom,
but like he was
screws up like miserably.
And the part that really like chills me is that during the surgery, Dr. Dunch on the lady he paralyzed, Mary, he was just repeatedly drilling the screws in, taking them out, drilling.
Mary.
He actually left 3 holes in her spine, like 3 just holes in her spine.
And the spine is precious, like that whole
spine,
area. That's.
And you are right. The spine is precious. Baby boy amputated the whole nerve root, which controls like the nerves function to your leg. So like that's why she's paralyzed. Like that makes sense.
Oh my god.
Everything was clicking once Dr. Henderson opened her spine, but it was like, baby boy, if you even went to like medical school, you know not to cut off the most important thing.
Literally. Like you don't mess with those nerves. Like unless you really, really know.
Unless you're wanting to do damage. Unless you're wanting to mess some stuff up.
And did he know? Like, did he even know Mary? Was this like sabotage? Like, no, this was just.
He didn't know Mary. He just
like this was just like a typical like, oh hi, like hi lady, like let's go to surgery, and then it's like. It's not like she like killed your cat. Like she's just a girl that wanted
boy
to like
did not know her at all, but he was just like, you know what?
Literally just.
Oh, sorry. I'm like hiding away for a second. But anyways, so a little. Sorry, let me. Wait, one more page. So little background, like some facts about this guy. He was born April 3rd, 1971, which makes him 50 today. He was convicted on February 20th, 2017. Incarcerated at Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and he got life with 28 years minimum, which as he should. Because
this is so recent.
No,
I haven't even heard about this.
When I tell you, I first heard, my sister was going through nursing school, so she was just listening to a podcast about this stuff. There's a podcast about him called Dr. Death. Go look it up, people. And it was so recent. I had never heard anything about this. Did you know they're actually making a TV show?
Really? Like a Netflix series?
I think it's on Prime Video, but like
that's good because I mean Netflix really
Alec
Baldwin
is in it. He plays Dr. Henderson, who goes against him. But anyways,
good guy.
So from 2011 to 2013, he had 38 patients. Out of the 38 patients, 2 died, and you should not die from back surgery.
No.
Like, unless
from
you
an experienced,
really,
like, doctor like
unless
that.
there was underlying conditions or anything, you really had to go in and mess some stuff up to really kill a person. Yeah. And so then also, well, 3 had no complications, but people said that it was more minor surgeries, not as complicated, and he did it as a cover up to like make it seem like he knew what he was doing.
Those people really slid under
So with that,
rope.
we have that's 5 of the 38 patients. So 33 patients now live with chronic pain or are some type of paralyzed, either quadriplegics, paraplegics.
That is so horrible and sad. Like, they didn't do anything. You know, it's like these victims, like, they don't do anything. They don't ask for this, and then it's just these twisted, sick people come out here and ruin their lives, kill them. Like,
oh yeah, and like
that's
when
insane.
he was going through like his whole trial and everything, like he could not like he didn't really like confess why he did it. He was, but he did say like that he wanted to be a serial killer. And so like this was him just living out his little dream, and he was very competitive, like competitive almost to the point where it's very weird. People would say like he would just like really push stuff, but
really competitive people honestly kind of scare me. It's like chill, like, you know, just take a chill pill. You know, like I'm like, not everything's like a race like this. Goodness. Yeah.
But you know what the like most interesting part of the story is, even though it's like not that, it's the fact that this all could have been stopped because he had 2 surgeries in a row at Baylor Plano Hospital, which is the first hospital he like worked at.
Okay.
And it left one of them a quadriplegic, meaning no feeling neck down, and then a paraplegic, no feeling waist down. And that should not have happened. So instead of Baylor Plano doing what they should have done, reporting, firing, they just
terminating after death.
Like, they just said, you know what? He just left. Like he removed himself. They didn't ever say they fired him. Like they removed him. He removed himself. And so if they would have done what they reported to and reported to the data bank, which is like this whole big thing where a list of bad doctors are so they never get hired again and they stay off. Literally, the 36 patients that I just talked about would have happened.
That is the sad part. It's like
the system is broken.
The system is corrupt. Like, they could have prevented all that. Like, they're just as much guilty as Christopher. Like, they are guilty. Like, if they would have just stopped after the 2 and reported it, they would have been fine. It's like they would have been heroes almost. Oh my gosh, like, thank you for reporting it, and now they're guilty. And it's like, and why did you do that?
And the fact that they didn't report, they were afraid of being sued.
And now all of them should be in jail.
So basically, money was more important than the 36 people that got literally surgical, like operated on,
destroyed.
Operated on by an incompetent surgeon.
These corporations, like these higher up people, care so much more about money and protecting themselves over like protecting lives, and that is sad. Like, they are in the medical field. Like, they should have been protecting those citizens' lives, not protecting their own money and like their names. You know.
And the last thing I'll say is that Henderson and another prestigious doctor, they tried to like report them to the Texas Medical Board, because that's what you do when you like run into problems like these. And the board, you know, when they first called him, the board was like, we don't feel you have enough evidence to act on. The evidence, remind you, 2 dead patients, a quadriplegic, and a paraplegic.
And that's not enough.
I don't think this is. Oh, where did we go? Oh, hi, baby girl. Sorry,
hey guys, sorry about that.
We're just hiding.
We're just peeking.
We're getting so heated, but like, so
that's what
they just said. You know what? Mistakes happen.
Like, no, you are destroying the lives as well. Like, that board is corrupt. I hope they're all in jail.
And that is horrible. 2 prestigious doctors who have been in the field at that point for 21 years. Do you think they would know a thing or two?
Exactly. And you think even after one death, that's a little suspicious. Like, anything could go wrong, but like one death, like you might need to look into that. Like, oh no, and then like two deaths. Oh shoot, that's like kind of suspicious. Oh, you just paralyzed someone. Oh, another one. It's like, oh my gosh, like what are you doing wrong? You might need to go back to school. We might need to check you out to see if you're like all there.
Evaluate for sure.
And no, then he went on for 30 more.
No,
like that's insane.
They just said, you know what?
Oh
No.
my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Baby girl,
That is crazy. Anyways, we all have to watch out for corruption.
Moral of the story today, viewers, is watch out, baby girls, and stay safe.
And stay true to yourself. If you think something's wrong, you better say something.
Know your morals.
Stop. Know your morals. Exactly. Like, stop trying to protect yourself and your money and what you have. Like, yes, exactly.
Because if you do the right thing, then you will get your own justice in the end.
Exactly. Like, it might be hard at first, but that Texas board should have stopped him, and they didn't. And now look at all the lives they ruined.
The easy way out isn't always the right way out, ladies and gentlemen.
That is where we're going to leave it on. That is it. That is it.
And the last thing we live by is go buy these adorable Christmas mugs from Indian.
Yes, Indian Ink rocks. Oh my gosh, like
favorite sponsor.
Yes, we love Indian Ink. They're amazing. They make so many things. It's actually they're letting us use their studio right now, and it's insane. Like, I don't know, like you guys can't see much, but it's like
it's gorgeous.
It is. It's amazing. So much stuff.
But yeah,
amazing.
So thank you for watching, and we will catch you, sweeties, baby girls, baby boys, next week.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Wait, get that again.
Cheers.
Okay. Okay. Bye-bye.